Hello, welcome to today's video. My name is Otter. If you have been to my channel before, hello, hi, welcome. It is really lovely to see you again. And if you haven't been to my channel before, hello, hi, welcome. It is really lovely to meet you. Today, we're going to be talking about a little game called Palia. I know it's not exactly a girly game, and it's definitely not a nostalgic game, but it is a game that I'm currently enjoying and would love to talk about with you guys. I just randomly started playing this one day in like July, I think. I came across this game a lot on like cozy game groups on Facebook and other communities, and it just kept coming up every single time, and I was looking for a new game to play. I am now at least 65 hours deep into the Bahari Bay, and I have lots of thoughts and feelings. Not as much as the internet and other players do. There is many different reasons for that. We're not getting into that in today's video. That is not what this video is about. I guess if the future keeps going on this way and perhaps things don't work out for Palia, there could be a deep dive at some point in the future. I guess this video is going to be a kind of discussion piece or opinion piece just about a game that I'm enjoying at the moment that I feel like you guys would also enjoy. Just as a disclaimer as well, I have a honking spot on my face. If you have acne, you're an acne person, you will know how frustrating it can be to go a whole day not have any spots, and then you come home and you just have this massive spot on your face. So I decided to cover it with a little star sticker instead. I tried to tie in my outfit and makeup with it, so I hope it's not too annoying. Let's jump straight on into talking about Palia. Before we do, I always ask if you do find yourself enjoying today's video at any point that you consider dropping it a like and subscribing to join the Otter Den. I am on a mission to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2024, and guys, literally we are so close to 2,000 now, like it's actually nuts. First off, before we jump into my sort of opinions and reviews, I did want to give a little background into the game itself so you guys have a rough idea of its development and how it's come to be the game it is. I also want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Celosia89 on Reddit, who gave me a really detailed breakdown of release dates, development dates, updates, everything that has happened to Palia since the beginning of the studio that developed it up until the present. So Palia is actually an open world life sim, farming sim, RPG, MMO. I feel like it could have so many labels chucked onto it. Depending on how you choose to play the game is how it feels in a genre, if that makes sense. It was first released in a closed beta in August of 2023, with the open beta being released a week later for PC gamers. The game was developed and published by Studio Singularity 6, an LA-based game development studio, with Palia being its debut title. Singularity 6 as a company has been around for what we know since early 2018, specifically February 27th. The company revolves around a love for exploration and imagination and seek to fill their projects to the brim with this. Palia is their first, as I've mentioned, which began development around 2019. Now, Palia as a game has gone through a ton of testing. So obviously, as I've mentioned, we are currently in beta. There was also a pre-alpha, an alpha, and an alpha 2, which have all been going on since around 2021, I believe. But despite this, there have been some worrying turns of events that have happened in Palia's development. Specifically, not so much with Palia as a game, but with the studio behind it. Singularity 6 as a company has had at least 2 rounds of layoffs this year. The first of which was in April, where we saw a whopping 49 staff members were cut from their company, and another 36 staff members in May. Obviously, as we know, if you are a big gamer and you keep up with gaming news, there is layoffs happening and cuts occurring across the industry. So it's not just Singularity 6 alone that is doing this, it is a industry-wide thing. And actually quite recently, on the back of this, Singularity 6 have actually been acquired by Daybreak Studios in July of 2024. But now that we've looked into the background of Palia and its development, let's jump on into the actual nitty-gritty and talk about the parts of the game that I love. So we're going to start with the visuals. First up, I think the thing that gets me the most with Palia is its theming. I love visually the atmosphere and just vibe that Palia gives as a world and a game. The 2 maps that we currently have, Kilima Village and Bahari Bay, both feel fleshed out, beautiful, bright, unique enough in that they are able to stand alone, but also similar enough that they feel like they're in the same universe. It is a joy to just run around these maps and explore and find the hidden items, hidden little details put here and there. It's a really lovely environment that they've built, and you can really tell that it is a passion project. The story and lore and world around Palia, like it's just gorgeous. And I think that's one of the things that really won me over with the game, like initially. When I try and describe Palia to people as a game, I often say that it's Stardew Valley gameplay combined with the visuals of Disney Dreamlight Valley with some sprinkling of Animal Crossing. And it really does remind me of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Now, I have never actually played Disney Dreamlight Valley, but looking at trailers and what I have seen of gameplay of Disney Dreamlight Valley, not so much the world around it, but the avatars are like very, very similar. And on note of the avatars, I put this in visuals because I wasn't sure where else to put it specifically. I freaking love the customization and like avatar creator. There is so many elements and pieces that you can choose from, specific customizations that you can have that make avatars feel unique enough that you don't feel pressured to buy DLC or additional content in order to feel like a unique character experiencing your own story. Like when you're running around the map, there is a running theme through every avatar, as there will be in a game, but everyone can choose enough variety in the avatar creation that people look unique. Like it's not like you choose a specific gender or you are put into a randomized outfit and it sort of gives you a set, like a chosen set outfit that is like 1 of 5 or something like that, so you see it all the time. Next, we're going to talk about context and plot of the game. I love the lore and the story behind Palia. As a studio, obviously, we know that Singularity 6 is all about experiences and stories, and you can really, really feel that in Palia. There is a huge range of characters that I love and love to hate. And I feel like there is the common tropes, like everyone has a backstory and hints and sprinkles of personality that make them unique within their set stereotype. I freaking love Iena, Ina, and Heckler. The robots in this game are so lovable. And like I mentioned, I love to hate characters in this game. I don't hate them because they are badly written. I don't hate them because they are flat or there's nothing to them. I hate them because of the character that they've built, if that makes sense. The lore and story so far is really, really decent. I think I've hit the end of the story. I'm not going to go into it because obviously I don't want to give spoilers if you do want to play this game. So I was thinking about the underground, which is a part of the game that I freaking love. It's one of my favorite environments in Palia that you can visit. I love the vibe, the tone, the things that you can do in there. Spoilers, but Zeki, who is like the shady businessman, lovely guy, he's a cat, we love him. He kind of runs the underground along with Reth, who kind of works with him on it. How the heck, with how small Kilima Village is and how like tight-knit it is as a community, have Eshi and Kenley not found out about this and done something about it? Like, how is this going unnoticed? How is it not been found out? I will never understand that. Now we're going to talk about the gameplay. It is both the biggest section of the things that I love and hate, and first off is the difficulty of the game. I feel like it is a decent level of difficulty. I feel like it's a good, decent level where anyone of any age can interpret what you're meant to do. I also love the emphasis of playing together on this game. I think there is a lot of games that need this sort of like middle ground of it helps if you play with more people, but it doesn't stop you playing the game if you want to play it by yourself. And on that note, the community from what I've experienced so far is really, really friendly and really freaking nice. I am yet to have a single toxic or like wildly negative interaction on Palia. It just hasn't happened for me. I haven't seen it happen to anyone like on my server. I can see the potential for that toxic side of the cozy game community to sort of come out, but I have not experienced it as of yet, and I think that is a rarity and it is really lovely to see. Another big part of gameplay in Palia is building and like creativity. So in the game you get given a lot. You can have multiple of these, which I think is really, really nice, that you can have different lots either for different reasons, or you can have different places to decorate in different ways. The building mechanics are fine for me, like they're okay. I enjoy that it gives the opportunity to clutter. I am a big clutter builder. I love putting detail into my rooms and into builds. I also like the current house tour event that they've got going on. I don't know if it's ended now. However, I do feel with the house tour thing, and I've seen someone else mention this in the past, I think on Reddit, it often feels like you don't get to see those smaller, more realistic builds, like people who don't put hundreds of hours into the game every week. People who just want a nice cozy house that is well decorated. You don't get to see those because they're not as reacted to. I really love the cooking mechanic. It is not like anything else that I have experienced in any other game. I also love the wide range of recipes that there is. I love making like specific foods, even if they don't give me the most focus points. Everything else in terms of like gameplay mechanic is fine. It's all very bog standard. The fishing is Animal Crossing 2.0. Mining, the cutting of trees, they're all very basic. I don't really see what else you could do with them, to be honest, and I don't think they need anything else. And the last thing in the gameplay section of this Palia video is the card game in the underground. I freaking love the card game that you can play in the underground, and I feel like they put a time limit on it for a specific reason, because so many people are obsessed with this game, myself included. I could literally spend my entire time on Palia just playing this card game, which I think is why they put in the 6 p.m. till 3 a.m. Actually, it might be 10 p.m. till 3 a.m. I can't remember. And another thing that I love about this, other than the game, which is addictive as heck, people queue for the people queue for the spinning wheel, and it just fills me with so much happiness. I don't know why. I feel like queuing is a very stereotypical like British thing, and I just love that there is this civilized community of people playing Palia who queue for the prize wheel and don't like stand on it all at the same time and just spam F to spin it. It just makes me giggle, and I freaking love it. The last section that I kind of have about things that I like about Palia is the store. There's not going to be much in this section. My main thing that I love about it is that I really love I really like the amount of variety that there is, especially in the outfits. There is so much choice and so much representation in terms of like interest and identity in the custom clothing. I think it's really great that they've got this. I also love the pets. They are very cute and very sellable. I have been tempted when looking at the pets. I have not put a single penny into this game yet, but if it keeps going well, they might see some transactions from my bank account moving forward. I also really like with this game, which surprises me, is that they don't shove the premium store in your face, and they don't shove the like DLC and additional content in your face all the time. Okay, now that we have covered all of the positives and things that I love about Palia, we're now going to move on to the negatives. Most of the small amount of issues that I do have with Palia stem from the gameplay elements. So obviously, as you can expect from a beta game, there is quite a few bugs. My game has crashed 4 times, I think I've counted. Obviously, Palia is an MMO. Palia isn't massively multiplayer. There is not a lot of people in each server. I think there is a total of 25 people, and I'm not gonna lie, when you are running around the map and you're just like hunting for resources, or you're like running around doing quests, you really don't bump into that many people, and the world does feel, especially in Bahari Bay, it does feel quite empty. I feel like they filled it and tried to make it very warm and sunny and bright, and there's lots of resources everywhere. There's lots of animals and like spawn points for them and things to explore, but considering it's an MMO, it doesn't feel that alive with like actual players. I don't bump into that many people, and I think if you're going under the category of an MMO, you need to be able to run servers with more than 25 people. And I'm really hoping that as the game develops, and now that it's come under Daybreak Studios, that those servers have the opportunity to expand to a larger player base. Obviously, as I mentioned, a big part of Palia and its gameplay is designing, crafting, and like building your lot up and plot to what you want it to be. However, I do feel like there is a very big lack of building materials, and I asked Reese if there was anything in Palia which kind of annoyed him, and this was the first thing, and actually I think it was the only thing he mentioned, is that the building materials are lacking extremely. Obviously there's furniture in game which you use to like furnish your buildings and rooms and things like that, but in terms of actually building structures and spaces to be able to put furniture in, there's not a lot of choice, is basically what I'm saying. But there is kind of like a paradox, I guess you could say, in terms of like the building blocks, as when you are crafting them, you craft them at your table, you get XP for your furniture skill, so they're classed as furniture, yet you can't modify them and change their color at the modification bench, which you thought you would be able to. If you can change the color of a bed or a fridge or a sink, I feel like you should be able to change the color of a block. There's two sort of like gameplay specific elements that really ticked me off when I was playing Palia. The first one is not huge, I feel like it's a personal thing. I felt like when you go from the Proving Your Worth quest to the Shep finding quest, the momentum you have built up completely drops off. I got to the Shep finding quest in my first like time playing the game. I'd been playing for like 4 or 5 hours, I think, and I got to this quest and the momentum that I have built up from running around and doing other quests just completely dropped off. In order to find your Shep, you have to reach friendship level 4 with them and complete their friendship level 4 quest. Building up a friendship with villagers in any game is obviously something which is very rewarding, and building relationships with characters is a big part of why people get attached to games like this and have so much passion and love for them. So I understand why it takes as long as it does. I feel like I got this quest really early on and it just completely dropped off my momentum. And the last thing in this section that, oh my god, I literally burst so many freaking blood vessels when I was doing this in my head. You know that meme of the guy where his head is like bulging with veins? That was me at my computer screen. When trying the air temple quest out for the first time, you have to trigger flow gates, and for some goddamn unknown reason, Singularity 6 developed this so that you have to have a very specific camera angle for the pop-up to occur for you to be able to trigger the flow gate. Oh my god, I was literally losing my mind. Ask Reese. And then I googled it and nothing was coming up. I was like, oh my god, maybe I like broke the game because I also had like skipped forward in the quest. It wasn't that deep. I just had to be stood at a freaking specific angle with a specific camera angle, and it was just so stupid. It was so stupid. The last section that we are going to talk about is the premium store and the like additional customizations that you can buy. I feel like this is probably one of the most polarizing aspects of Palia right now in the community, other than the amount of bugs and glitches that have been present in the game since alpha and like should have been fixed by now. Yeah, the prices in the premium store, I'm not gonna lie, are pretty nuts, but I'm willing to let that slide because of how, I mean, the game is free to play. But yeah, I don't want to pay that much right now. I was fully invested in the game and I looked at those prices and I immediately noped out of that premium store. And don't get me wrong, some of the outfits are really lovely and you can see the intentional design choices behind them, and like they flow really well and they look aesthetically pleasing on your avatar and things like that, but some of them just sit really oddly. There is one specific one which is like a tea party, like puffy dress situation with all these frills and things like that, and it just looks so odd on my avatar. I don't know what it is. There's also another one which is a mermaid theme, and I love a mermaid. I loved H2O growing up. I used to swim a lot as a kid. I'd play mermaids in the pool that my mum worked at all the time, and when I looked at it I was like, yes, oh, the tail is a little bit too on the nose for the mermaid theme for me, and it looks a little bit gimmicky. Like I mentioned, the prices are a lot, but again, considering that the game is free and they don't shove it in your face all the time, like to buy them and things like that, and there's no other paywalls in the game, I'm willing to let it slide because companies have to make money. They can't just rely on investors all the time. I don't want to end on a negative, so I am going to end on the premise of that. As I mentioned, I love Palia and I really want it to do well. I'm sure many other people do, people who love the game and have put hundreds of hours into this. Like, some people have reached insane levels of mining and like it's just crazy. And I really hope that for the good people who are working at the studio and on Palia specifically, and for the fans that love this game, that it does work out and the game does go from strength to strength and has a long life future ahead of it. As of the recording of this video, we have literally just had our 0.183 update, which added a new decor set. It's like Rattan Lily or something. Some quality of life updates, some additions to the premium store, and we're also due a new map at the beginning of 2025. But that is it for today. I'm going to stop talking because I have a sore throat and I have already recorded this video once. You'll laugh because I had to re-record it because I forgot to put an earring in. I had one earring in and I just forgot to put the other one. I was really going for a pirate core vibe. But I'm hoping this version of the video, it will be okay. And I did put both my earrings in, so fingers crossed. But on that note, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. As another reminder again, if you did enjoy today's video, I just ask that you consider dropping it a like, please, and consider subscribing to join the Otter Den so you don't miss out on many more videos just like this one. And if you are a girly gaming veteran, you should definitely consider subscribing. Hydrate to stay great, get your daily calorie intake, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.